Well, welcome to Wellness Thursday. I am so glad you are here. Tonight we are going to talk about all about digestion. Okay, so the whoever's in charge of naming these said healthy gut, healthy life. And we're absolutely going to talk about how when your gut is healthy, you are a happier person, right? But I want to talk all things digestion. So I don't know how any better to do that than to just give you not only my personal life story, but also my personal experience. So I hope you can find yourself somewhere within my story. So I'm not somebody who often had issues with digestion, meaning regular was normal for me. Okay. And I guess that's all I knew until I started changing up my dietary plan. And that meant prioritizing protein. And I don't know if you've heard, obviously, protein, all the rage, we get it. But when I incorporated protein, I think I did it too fast, too soon, and I found myself constipated and miserable. Can I just be honest with you? Constipated and miserable. And I was just like, okay, I have committed to this, right? I am on this meal plan. I am doing these workouts. I'm doing all the things. I had great results. That's not the problem. The problem was the discomfort. And so tonight I want to talk about whether you are a person who experiences too much regularity, which means diarrhea, because you're going far too frequently, it's too loose, it's not how it's supposed to be. Or you're on the other end of the spectrum, which is constipation. It's very much uncomfortable. And we want to be smack dab in the center where we are happy, right? We are healthy, we are feeling our best, and our gut is thriving. So first and foremost, one of my favorite things to share at classes is a friendly normal called Digestion. And what I love about doTERRA essential oils is that they actually create homeostasis or balance in the body. What does that mean? It means that if you are somebody who needs to actually plug up a bit, Digestion caters to needing you to slow down and not have it be so frequent and or loose. What if you're somebody who's stopped up, plugged up? This is going to cater to what your body needs, and it's going to allow for you to help things get moving. So how amazing that we have one oil that, whether you're on this side or this side of the spectrum, it brings you right back center to homeostasis. So if you are brand new to essential oils, and by the way, my name is Amber Nordstrom. I didn't even say my name, but who cares? You're here for the content, not the speaker. I just want to say, if you are brand new to doTERRA, I hope that you have this little friend on you, because when it comes to, again, too much time in the bathroom, not enough time in the bathroom, or maybe that discomfort in the stomach, in the intestinal tract, right? The GI tract. Maybe it's nausea. Now, I have to be honest with you, this isn't one that I crave the smelling of, right? If you want to talk about what I love the smell of, we can talk about Tamer. How many of y'all love Tamer? I know it's the kids line, but we have the pleasure of letting it work for anybody, right? Meaning the youngest of the young to the eldest and the frail. And so Tamer is one that I love the smell of. And so I will slather my tummy with Tamer anytime and not even worry about being in public. When it comes to Digestion, the star anise, in my opinion, is a little bit fuerte. That means strong in Spanish. And so I don't know if it's just me or what, but this is one that I use very frequently at home, but don't necessarily maybe bathe myself in when I'm out in public. Okay. Bonnie, do you need something? You can pop it in the chat. I think you guys are seeing Bonnie as the main speaker, which is fine. It's totally fine as long as you can hear me. So when it comes to Digestion, you can use this all three ways. You can just smell it if you feel you can't see the bottle in my hand. I think it's because I am somehow a tiny, if I knew how to change my view, which there is a way, I can make it so that, Bonnie, we can't hear
Unmute.
you. Oh, there
There,
we go.
can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I'm not even on the pictures anywhere. I don't even see myself.
Okay. Well, that's okay. You're the only
I
one I
see,
see, but that's fine. I'm not worried about
oh,
it. We'll just keep
I
plugging
see
away.
you full screen. I see you full screen.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
We'll keep going.
Mm.
So, anyways, when it comes to digestion, just know that you can use this essential oil three different ways. You can use it aromatically just by smelling it, right? Again, if you're nauseous or you're just having car sickness or seasickness, if you're on a cruise or something, you can just smell it directly from the bottle. You can use it topically with a drop in your hand, applying it to anywhere. Feel free to dilute. Dilution is never a bad thing. It just releases slower. This is also one that you can put a drop in water and just drink. So, secret or maybe not, we all overeat at Thanksgiving. At least I do. It's the one time where I'm not counting any sort of calories. I'm just going to enjoy Thanksgiving. But I'm miserable afterwards, y'all. Miserable. So, I will just do a drop of this in some water and take a quick swig and just allow for it to start breaking stuff down, allow for the digestion to happen maybe a little bit more rapid so that discomfort starts to wane a bit quicker than it would. Now, let me go back to the beginning of what I talked about when I experienced constipation. If you are somebody who is not using the restroom daily, friends, I know that when like we're little or we're in the middle school, high school or whatever, it's weird to talk about going to the bathroom, but we should be going every day. They actually say if you eat 3 times a day, you should be eliminating 2 to 3 times a day. Okay. So the fact that the epidemic is that so many are hardly going, and by hardly, I mean like once every 4 days, 5 days, 6 days. Oh, yes. And so we want to make sure that not only are we eliminating daily, but let's help our friends and family who are very uncomfortable. So when I found myself constipated, I came up with a couple things that were really helpful, and I want to share this for any of those who are sitting there really uncomfortable at this time. So, the first thing I like to make is called my fiber tea. Now, doTERRA carries this fiber, and what I like to do is I like to put a pot on the stove and get it almost to boiling. Okay, you want it hot, you don't really want it boiling, but you are going to take a scoop of the fiber, you're going to mix it into your near boiling water, and then I like to do it in a glass or a ceramic mug and add, let me see where my oil is, and add a tiny, not even a full drop of ginger, just a tiny little bit. And so I call it my fiber tea. Now, if it were a cold evening, this would be such a delightful good night, right? But maybe it would be a nice little warming wake up too. So you choose. You choose when you want to do this. I just love my fiber tea, and it's a tiny, not even full drop of ginger, and then a scoop of the fiber in some warm and hot water. And if you are somebody who maybe it's summer, like right now, it's so hot outside, you can mix the fiber with your VMG in the morning. Again, getting those good greens, the vitamins, the minerals, the nutrients that our VMG entails, and a scoop of fiber so that you're getting that added fiber. Because protein's all the rage, but we cannot forget about fiber. Okay, it's actually very important, even if it's not getting its shiny time in the day. I also want to tell you that I started doing a drop of Digestion, so the very first oil that I talked about, a drop of it in my navel before going to bed. So when I crawl into bed, I keep it right by my bedstand. I put a drop in my navel, and then I just snuggle under my sheets, staying on my back for a bit, and I just let it soak in. Why? Your navel was the thing that attached the umbilical cord to mama. Okay, so you have so many nerve endings there, and it really is a beautiful place to cater to your body. If you know anything about chiropractic, the spine is the communicator to the body. Okay, well, think about the navel as being the thing that passes the nutrients. So if you need to really hone in on something that's going on in your body, one drop of Digestion can help with digestive issues. If you're somebody who wants to spark your metabolism, this is a freebie tonight, you can do a drop of our MetaPower blend, the essential oil blend in your navel, again before bed. Not only is it going to aid that metabolic system, but it also helps with hormonal. And when you do it before bed, you just one drop and you're good to go. You're always free, again, to dilute. If you have any questions, hang tight. We'll come to you. You can pop them in the chat, or we'll do a question and answer at the end. So remember it, or pop it in the chat and I'll scan it. All right, so I've touched on Digestion, my fiber tea, and then using them in the navel. Let me tell you my daily routine, and I feel like I have had this daily routine for the majority of my time in doTERRA, which will be 14 years this November. So I'm going to say maybe a decade. I won't go the full 14 years. That doesn't feel honest. For me, now, these two products I'm going to highlight, which are Terrazyme and PB Restore. You cannot mess them up. Say it with me in the comments. You cannot mess them up. I feel like in doTERRA, we get so, when do I take it and how do I take it and what's the best? And yes, yes, and yes. But you can't mess these two up. However, with that said, I want to tell you what I do and why. So every morning, I make myself my cup of tea or coffee, whatever I'm having that morning, and I go have my quiet time on my space in the couch, right? And Terrazyme is the one that I keep right by my morning quiet time space. Why? Because Terrazyme on an empty tummy, and I take 3, you could take 2 if you want, you could take 3, I take 3. I take 3 in the morning on an empty tummy because when you have an empty tummy, it will go into your GI tract and it will tear apart and break down anything it needs to. But if there's nothing to break down, because again, maybe I haven't eaten since the night before at 6 p.m., now it's like 6 a.m., it's been a good span, then it will actually go into your bloodstream and purify your blood. So Terrazyme is not only going to give you vital enzymes, vital enzymes. Not only is it going to get into your GI tract and your digestive system and break up that food. I have a really old video that I made where I opened up a Terrazyme capsule into a chunky, yucky, horrible for you chocolate pudding. And I showed people how I just stirred it, and within 30 seconds to a minute, it turned completely liquid. So if you want that link, I can show you. It's a really old video. I'm very young in it, but you'll watch it before your eyes. I open the Terrazyme, I pour it into the powder, into the chocolate pudding, and I stir it before the audience, and they watch it liquefy. So not only are you getting vital enzymes, but this is helping break down your food. It's allowing for your body to get the most nutrients from your food. It's allowing for you to stay fuller longer. And if there's nothing for it to break down, it goes into your blood and purifies your blood. So for me, I like to take Terrazyme in the morning. That way it has an option to do all of the above. Okay, if I had a really heavy carb dense meal the night before, it's probably got some breaking down to do with the food. But maybe I've been on I had a liquid fast day. Those don't happen very often, and so there's not much to break down. And so therefore it actually gets to purify my blood. If you are somebody who has an issue with lactose or digesting food, meaning when you eat, you're uncomfortable, you're bloated, you're cramping, you're gassy, foods don't love your body, okay? Take this with your meals because you will find that eating will become more enjoyable for you, meaning the after effects of the discomfort will not hit you as hard and hopefully not at all eventually, okay? So this is what I like to take in the morning. You can't mess it up though. Hear me. Now, I keep this in the fridge after you open it. Obviously, if you have an extra bottle like I do in my closet, that's just in my closet. But after I open the PB Restore, this goes in my fridge. And at night, after I've made dinner for my family and I've cleaned up the kitchen, I close the kitchen by opening up my fridge, taking my PB Restore, and then shutting off the lights, popping it back in the fridge and shutting off the lights. Why? Again, you cannot mess this one up, friends. You have to believe me when I say that. But did you know your immune system is the weakest at night? So I like to take my PB Restore right before bed because this is incredible. Your gut is your immune system. And when you put good microflora back into that GI tract, you are supporting your immune system at its finest. And so that is why I like to take PB Restore at night, okay? Let's talk about the American diet. White flour, white sugar, caffeine, alcohol, all the things, convenient fast food, all the things, okay? Here's what is happening and is wreaking havoc on our system. Let me admit our friends here and we'll continue on. So when it comes to not only that diet, which is of poor quality, but think about over the span of your life. Now, hopefully you've been with doTERRA a while and so you don't take many medications or antibiotics, but I'm sure all of us have at least been on one in our lifetime. It is a shame that our doctors do not look at us with our prescription and say, right when you finish this, I need you on a high quality probiotic. When we are on antibiotics, it wipes our GI tract sterile. When we have a sterile environment, the bad come back quicker and therefore thrive and take over that ecosystem, for lack of a better word. So when we take an antibiotic, we strip it, we sterilize it, right? And so the minute we're done with it, we need to come in hardcore with a probiotic. Well, thankfully, you're here tonight. So you are going to learn not only about this probiotic, which is one I just talked about, but if I were you, if I needed to really hit my system hard with probiotics, I would actually double up. So when I double up, and the only time I do this is I will actually take this one in the morning with my Terrazyme that I just told you I took at night. And then I keep these by my bed, which is the PB Assist, that's backwards, the sachets. Why? Well, this is a little bit sweet. Have you ever noticed? And so instead of going for that chocolate that you shouldn't have or that pie that you don't need, you can end your night with a PB Assist sachet, curb that sweet tooth, and actually put some goodness in your body. So you don't need both. This is only when I double up because I either have been sick, I feel maybe like I'm coming down with something, which even then I really only need one a day, or I've been on an antibiotic or somebody in my family has been on antibiotic, which my claim to fame. So I have 4 babies. My oldest is about to turn 15 this month and my twins are 9. And I have 4 and not a single one of them has ever been on an antibiotic because I've had doTERRA for 14 years. So I love that. I'm not saying I'm against medicine and all the things, disclaimer, but how cool that we have the tools that we have, right? And so it's my job tonight to help you learn and love them so that you can use them for all they are worth. All right, friends, when it comes to digestion of just kind of feeling, where's my peppermint? Maybe it's not here. Anyways, nauseous. I know I said digest zen, but peppermint is actually my go-to. I like to smell the peppermint. I like to tap the top of the little dropper or the orifice and put it on my tongue, just to not only cool the body from the inside out, but it really allows for just calming of the tummy if any waves of nausea are happening. And peppermint is one that I actually love to diffuse. So again, you can use it aromatically, topically, and or internally, but peppermint to me is my go-to when it comes to nausea. Or how many of y'all have tried these? And they are our ginger drops. Now, when I moved to Georgia from Washington State, I did not realize that these would become everybody's candies. They love them, so they eat them like candies, and I'm not mad about it. But this is also great when it comes to nausea, when it comes to morning sickness, when it comes to upset tummies or a sour stomach. So again, make sure you have some of these in your arsenal for just needing, especially a kid, right? A kid might not drink a drop of Digestion because of the flavor, but they sure will suck on a ginger drop, okay? A little bit spicy, but really, not like our cinnamon drops if you ever had those during the holidays. All right, I think the last thing that I will talk about, maybe 2 things, and then I will take any questions. So if you have any, you can drop them in the comments and we will address anything. I don't claim to know it all, but I'm happy to help. So I like to, when it comes to cleansing, doTERRA's cleanse focuses on our GI tract. Now, I always let people know our cleanse is not a rush to the toilet cleanse, okay? The worst that you should experience during our cleanse is a little bit of cramping in your stomach. But I found that when people pair the GX with food, that cramping will fall by the wayside, okay? So just pay attention to your body. What I want to highlight with cleanses is since it focuses on the GI tract and since we can actually kick some parasites out of the body, of which, by the way, 80% of Americans have. True. Did you know that our little boogers in there are more active around a full moon? So I like to pair my cleanses around a full moon. This is not woo-woo. This is not howling at the moon. This is just talking about the parasites and when they wake up and become more active, okay? So what I suggest, and again, you do you, but I like a 10-day prep period prior to the full moon. What does a prep period mean? It means that I'm going to open up my chimneys. What does that mean? That means that I want the toxins to escape my body where they should. That means when I use the restroom, not when I sweat in the moist areas of my inner elbow, through my skin. Sometimes people come and they're like, Amber, I am reacting all over my skin. Yeah, that's the toxins in your body that are screaming, and it's an internal cry, but an exterior help, right? It's just an exterior, what am I trying to say? Note, not a note. Expression of an internal issue. Okay. So I like to do a 10-day prep period with Terrazyme, opening up those chimneys, making sure things are working so that when I incorporate the 10 days of GX around that full moon, I not only am attacking those little boogers right when they're the most active, but they're escaping my body where they need to via elimination. And then directly after GX, the final 10 days, so it's a 30-day protocol, 10, 10, and 10. Right after GX, the final 10 days is PB Restore, because once again, you got in that GI tract and you cleared out, right? You want to go on in and replenish that good microflora with those probiotics, all right? The last thing I will highlight is that with your foundational wellness bundle, you get your VMG, your E Omega, as well as your PB Restore. And these two are going to help digestion. They're going to help with your enzymes. They're going to help with your immune system. You're going to find that you really experience more energy, less pain and inflammation, better sleep at night, better energy, and your skin just might glow a little bit better. Okay. So I wanted to make sure I highlighted the VMG just because we want to make sure not only we're getting the good nutrients in our system, but again, it aids that digestion. All right, friends, I am going to browse the comments real fast here, see if I can help with anything else. Actually, I saw somebody say, yes, proactive is better than reactive any day. You love ginger, Joe. I love that. Let me highlight on reflux and bloating and gas a little bit. So first of all, I didn't highlight cardamom, and I do have it here. Cardamom is one that is great. It's gentle, but it's effective. Cardamom is probably an unsung hero. Most of these products, if you've been around doTERRA, you've probably heard of that I talked about tonight, whereas cardamom, you probably haven't heard about as much. I love cardamom because not only it's good for digestion and respiratory, actually, but it's gentle. So if you have a small little baby, you can do a drop of cardamom on the bottom of the feet, and it will just be a more gentle essential oil than maybe, for sure, ginger. Ginger is really spicy. But like even a Digest Zen, or we love the Tamer, which comes pre-diluted, as well as the Digest Zen Touch. Okay, our touch rollers are always friendly for the sensitive skin and the babies. But when it comes to reflux and bloating and gas, I always suggest just a drop right there on your collarbone, right in, isn't that your sacrum right there, that bone? Put a drop there and then actually rub it up. Yeah, you're right. The collarbone is back there. Um, so right there on your chest. I don't know why my words are leaving me tonight, whatever, but right here, you can see where I'm pointing. Just put a drop there and rub it up towards your throat, okay? You can also put a little, dab on your fingertip and touch your tongue, or a full drop in your mouth if you wish, some in water. But I find that right there on your sternum, that's the word I was looking for, your sternum. A drop of cardamom on your sternum, rubbing up towards your throat for when it comes to reflux or indigestion, right? So cardamom is great for that. Bloating and gas for me, I brought the Digestion soft gels just because I feel like these are easier for my kids to take. They don't really want to drink a drop of Digestion in water, whereas they will pop a tiny little doTERRA pill any day. So that could be something that works absolutely when it comes for bloating and gas. The only thing that I find is that when I do a drop in water, I actually experience the relief quicker. Probably because the soft gels, they have to get in the system, they break down a bit, whereas a drop of oil in water, you get that release of discomfort quicker. So just, know your options, or maybe what you have on hand. You can also do, these are super mint beadlets, but you could do a peppermint beadlet as well. Just pop it in the middle of your teeth and swallow it. That way you'll have fresh, friendly breath, as well as some help when it comes to the different digestive issues. How much sugar is in the ginger drop? Let me go ahead and answer that right here. So 1 drop is 15 calories and total sugars is 3 grams. Let me tell you where those sugars come from because I know that's really important. The ingredients are organic cane sugar, organic brown rice syrup, lemon peel oil, ginger root oil, and ginger root extract. So, friends, unfortunately, if you think about a drop of ginger, that's not going to be a throat drop. So they have to make some sort of consistency to create a throat drop. And then, of course, a drop of ginger is within that little candy, which it's a better candy than most. So there you have it. All right, let's see. Oh, look at Bobby. She's hired. She's like my assistant tonight. Okay, do I use both 1 drop of Digestion and 1 drop of MetaPower and Navel every night? Okay, you are free to use more than one oil in your navel. I don't think that's a problem at all. I have never combined 1 drop of Digestion and 1 drop of MetaPower. If I were to say, pick one, which is your favorite, and the good news is let's say you're more concerned about your metabolic health and, balancing those hormones. Well, guess what? MetaPower has peppermint in it. It has ginger in it. It has lemon in it. So that right there, my friends, sounds like a good old digestion concoction, right? It's just that you don't have the fennel, you don't have the cardamom, you don't have the other things of the Digest Zen blend. So I have never done both. I don't think it's wrong if you do. I don't think you can mess that up. The only thing I would caution you is if you feel like you have an oil that is spicier or caustic, please, I beg you, stick a drop or two of fractionated coconut oil in your navel first, and then do a drop of whatever oil you're thinking. Okay. All right. I feel like somebody just yeah, so MetaPower actually combats not only helping our metabolic system, but it actually has helped people with the hormonal levels and better sleep at night. So if you're somebody who's kind of in that phase of life where you're like, golly, I miss sleeping like a husband, because y'all know it ain't sleeping like a baby. They up every 2 hours. But I miss sleeping like a husband. Well, try MetaPower. See if at night that is something that helps in your navel. I like to do a 7-day test, see what my body responds to. If you try MetaPower for 7, nights in a row, you don't really get the results you want, well, then by all means, why don't you try cedarwood or serenity? Or, I mean, you pick. doTERRA has so much to offer us. We just have to find what your body is craving and the chemistry that it's looking for. Okay, I don't have my MetaPower. Hold on, maybe I do. Maybe it's right here. Isn't God good? He set me up and I didn't even plan to have it tonight. So this is our MetaPower blend. And like I said, it has lemon in it. It has ginger in it. It has cinnamon in it, but don't worry, it's not really spicy because of its blend. As well as grapefruit. So grapefruit, lemon, peppermint, ginger, and cinnamon. So really tasty in your water too. If you want to drink that in a stainless steel or glass bottle, it is fabulous. You're a belly sleeper, but just may have to try this. Okay, so Bobby, I'm a belly sleeper too. So what I do is I just stick it in my navel, I snuggle up on my back, and then once I know I'm ready, I roll over. So I give it a few minutes just to soak in, but the oils, they're fast, the cells respond and soak in the goodness, so you're good to go. All right, do we have any other questions that anybody wants to ask? I hope this was so informative. I'm glad you joined us. Can you do a drop of MetaPower in with VMG? Absolutely. Absolutely, you can. In fact, as long as you like the taste, because I don't want it to ruin it for you and then you don't drink your VMG. You know what I mean? But no, I'll even put like MetaPower just drop directly under my tongue. And then you could swig your VMG back, right? So whether you want it in your VMG or you just kind of want to put it under your tongue, swig your VMG, keep it in your purse, use it throughout the day. It also, not that this has anything to do with digestive health, but MetaPower can reduce cellulite. So if you mix this with fractionated coconut oil and use it as your moisturizer after showers, it will help diminish cellulite in your legs or wherever you're, ministering to. But I will say, it has grapefruit in it. It has lemon in it. So please don't do it in the morning. Then go out and sunbathe at the pool in your little bikini because the sun will be attracted to those citruses. This is VMG. It comes in a packet. It is mixed with water. The amount is your choice. I always tell people because it's quite green, they might think they're going to be chugging a tree, but friends, you will actually be pleasantly surprised at the taste. So doTERRA has done a really good job with this. I even have guys who beg for it. And y'all know if guys are drinking something green, it's okay. You know what I mean? It's okay. All right, let me read a couple of these comments that have come in. Great info. I'm so glad. Appreciate you sharing. You are welcome. Sarah loves MetaPower under her tongue and in my, it's delicious. It's so yum. And it's so fresh, like even just that drop I just did, I'm like, okay, I'm enjoyable right now. And I'm just me, myself, and I. I just recently heard from a holistic doctor that you should change using your probiotic every 8 months. Have you ever heard that? No, but I also know that the probiotics on the market are so subpar to doTERRA's. Friends, when I teach the foundational wellness class, I always love to share that. Did you know the pharmaceutical companies have actually begged doTERRA and offered them lots of money to purchase their technology for their probiotic? The pharmaceutical companies know that what doTERRA has done is so far above what even they have created yet. They have requested that doTERRA let them purchase their technology. We have a probiotic that is bar none. So my guess with this whole 8-month suggestion is because honestly, most of the stuff on the shelves is crap, for lack of a better term. And so get what you should in your body, but then switch it to the next one. And hopefully within all of them, you'll get some sort of goods, some sort of time. If you know what I'm saying? So I don't switch my probiotic. The only thing I do is maybe a night I want something sweet, I'll have this little sachet instead of this when I close down my kitchen. That's the difference. So if you want to go 8 months and then 8 months, well, by all means, you go ahead. All right, you learned so much tonight. I'm so glad. Okay, so MetaPower is the one that benefits your metabolic system as well as has been helpful to hormones and helping women in a certain season sleep better. MetaPower. And that is our metabolic blend right here. Can you use your own greens? I don't know what greens you use, but you do you, boo. All right, Bobby has attached something. No, doTERRA is not interested in selling nothing, praise God. Okay, good. Well, I think I got all the questions, so I will let you guys all enjoy your evening. Please tell your leader I did okay because I was the only one on here, and I think we did all right. We admitted all the people, we answered all the questions, we did all the fun. So I appreciate y'all. If you are at convention, I would love to see you. I will be there, and it's always, always a great time. Oh, we got 3 new messages. Let me make sure. You are welcome. You are welcome. You are welcome. All right. God bless y'all. Have a fabulous, fabulous evening and weekend. Bye.